Jam-packed to the rafters, let's go up to our ring announcer.
The following podcast is scheduled for one episode and is our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast.
Outside, we couldn't see it from our vantage point.
Wrestling fans, and welcome to our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast. Thank you guys for being with us here for episode 241, the season premiere here on Monday, October the 4th, 2021. We're here to romp you through the world of retro wrestling as always. I'm Joe Murata. I'm joined by Michael Quinn. How you doing, Michael?
Howdy doody.
May October the 4th be with you?
Oh, right. It's that.
Yeah, it is that.
October the 4th be with you.
Yes, of course. Guys, thanks so much for being back with us here. We were on break last week. We went to the Wild Kingdom of Omaha.
It was the wildest.
It was so wild.
So Omaha.
Nebraska is just a wild state, man.
That is where they do safaris, I heard.
Oh, yeah, lots of safaris there. But if you haven't checked that one out, it is available on this feed. We reviewed the Saturday night's main event from July of 90. But Quinn, this week we are back to kick off a new season.
Yes.
And we all know what that means. We got a new opening segment, the new Royal Rankings. We will be reviewing something. But before we get to any of that, we want to remind you guys to follow us on Twitter at OVP Podcast. You're going to get daily posts, sometimes GIFs, pictures, an occasional clip, things like that. But don't count on the clips. Don't try to.
Don't.
It's not going to be every day. And you can do that, of course, on Twitter at OVP Podcast. You can also email the show if you want to at ovppodcast@gmail.com. That is vppodcast@gmail.com. But Quinn, the best place if people want to talk to you, me, and over 1,200 other retro wrestling fanatics is where?
Over at facebook.com/the4th.
Yes, of course.
It's the site all about the 4th of every month.
Okay, now how do you get there?
You type in the search bar, our Vantage Point, Retro Wrestling Podcast, Bing Bang Boom, Tube Score,
Kaflooey.
Then hit the join button, and then you're in.
That's it?
Yeah. You just have to agree to some rules and regulations.
Oh, yeah, there's that one rule. Now, the rule to join the group, folks, that you say, I agree, is don't be what, Quinn?
Don't be a dunderhead.
Don't be a dunderhead. And all we mean by that is we understand that people have differing opinions on retro wrestling, and that's really okay. All we ask is that you just aren't mean to each other. You can disagree all you want. Just be nice to each other.
Don't do those things and be nice.
Yeah, just be nice, okay? And you can do that on Facebook. And if you want extra content, and maybe you do, you can get that at Patreon, patreon.com/OVP Podcast. Out right now, Quinn, Royal Rumble 94. I know one thing about you. You were happy that this wasn't 93 anymore.
I'm done with that year. I don't want to see anything else from it again, which means now all the requests are going to be flooded with 1993 reviews.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Undertaker, he went somewhere. I don't know, the ceiling or something like that.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out with you if you join us on this Patreon
That's
thing.
right. It's over at patreon.com/OVP Podcast. Every WWF pay-per-view review from the first WrestleMania to Royal Rumble 94 is out right now. And that's if you want to donate. All right, Quinn, it is a new season, like we mentioned. That means there's a new opener. And you know what? This was your idea.
Yes.
This was Michael Quinn's idea.
I thought this up.
We're very proud of you, Quinn.
This is a very well thought out segment that you will all enjoy a lot.
We think so. So I'll explain it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about, folks, either wrestlers, maybe match types, concepts, things in wrestling from the 80s, from the 90s, even now, that were very successful maybe in other promotions or other territories, but when the wrestler or the concept was tried in the WWF, the New York territory, it didn't work.
It didn't work. Nobody liked
happened.
it,
Yeah.
or they
They dropped
didn't
the
really
ball.
try to do it right.
Yep.
For reasons.
For various reasons. So this is a new segment called Anywhere But New York.
I'm in a New York state of mind.
Stupid. Anyway, so Anywhere But New York, Quinn, we're talking about wrestlers. We're talking about things that were very good elsewhere that we like too, but that just didn't work for whatever reason in the WWF. And Quinn, this was your segment, and this is also your pick. Who are we talking about today?
We're talking about Tony Anthony, or, you know, that plumber guy, T.L. Hopper, you might know him as in the New York state of mind.
Yeah, there you go.
Sometimes if you gotta get a little mean, and you gotta get a little nasty, you know, you gotta peel everything off, and then you gotta get real wild, and then if you gotta go down, and you gotta pull somebody's eye out.
So Tony Anthony, Dirty White Boy, some people may know him as and have a fondness for. Quinn and I, despite our reputation as, we're the Northerners up here.
Yeah.
I'm walking here.
We love Tony Anthony.
He's great.
He's fucking awesome.
The Dirty White Boy, as he's known everywhere else but WWF.
Right. And we're not here to do a whole career retrospective on him, by the way. Just a quick rundown, though. He debuted in 1980. He was born in 1960, so he debuted young.
Right.
20 years old. And he actually was in the AWA for a little bit. He won their Southern Tag Team title. Yes.
That's like a subtitle.
It's very, very sub.
That's super sub.
And then he went on to the NWA. He was in Mid-Atlantic. He then went to Southeast Championship Wrestling, which became one of our favorites, Continental Championship Wrestling, or the Continental Wrestling Federation.
A lovely little federation where, Vince likes to say anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation. Anything can really happen in Continental. It's insane over there.
Continental, like that Eddie Gilbert era and stuff like that, with Gordon solely on commentary.
Where he's like, I don't know, he seems to be in charge of everything, but he technically isn't.
But everyone kind of kowtows to him.
Yeah, it's just kind of like if Gordon says it, okay.
Well, you are suspended now, or whatever that was. Remember?
He just he'll. You know what the thing is? If the wrestlers don't believe him in that fed, he basically will be like, I got the owner on the line, and he says that what I say goes, or whatever. Like that's.
I'm gonna get Bob Geigel on the line right now.
He does it a lot too. He has like a phone next to him almost all the time.
It's great.
Yeah.
I do have Bob Geigel on the phone right now.
And that's where Tony Anthony, I think, in my opinion, really came of age, so to speak. He is so good down there. He's a small guy. He's like 5'9", 5'10", 200 and something pounds. But his style in the 80s particularly is very rough, aggressive, kind of realistic, down-to-earth wrestling style.
Right.
It's not fancy by any means.
No.
It's not flashy. And maybe that's part of the reason why Vince did what he did with them, unfortunately. But he had some great success in Continental. He also was in the USWA,
right,
Memphis territory for several years.
Seen him there, and he's kind of like treated like a headliner or something, which is kind of funny because of the character he is.
Yeah, exactly.
And Southern Rockers, baby, you get ready, baby, because you're looking at the new USWA World Tag Team Champion.
His whole deal is he just wants to fucking wrestle and kick people's asses, basically.
Yeah, that, and he's got the dirty white girl.
Yes.
Like the opposite gender version of him.
Yeah, he does have that.
Which I always thought was great.
I think it's a nice touch.
love the idea that
he's got a girlfriend. He's got a lady.
Smelly looking guy has like a female equivalent to him.
Right.
And it's funny.
I'm trying to get Tony reinstated. I know he come out and he was mad and he asked for a loser leave town, and Guy Coffey come out and said, fine, if that's what you want, you can have it.
He also then, after USWA, went to Jim Cornette's Smoky Mountain Wrestling for several years.
Yep.
And then, again, a great place for him. These are all Southern territories. This type of character, whether he's a heel or face, people relate to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
he seems like an everyman.
Yeah. Got a beard. Sometimes a good physique in the early days, and then later on a little doughier.
Like Sandman physique.
You don't mean Sandman from Punch-Out, obviously.
No, I'm talking about,
I know.
EC Dub.
Yes. Remember the wetsuit version?
Yeah. I don't know. Why did he do that at the beginning?
He was a surfer.
That was dumb.
I know. But anyway, so he then winds up, after Smoky Mountain closes in November of 1995, winds up in talks with the WWF.
The World Federation.
The World Federation.
Why would they
Wrestling.
pick him up?
I don't know if it was, and people might know this, I just don't remember off the top of my head, if it was a favor or a request of Jim Cornette. Could have been. I do know this is around the time that the talent they were bringing in was guys like the Bruise Brothers. They renamed them the Grimm Twins that time.
Yep.
They brought in Freddie Joe Floyd, obviously Tracy Smothers around this time.
A lot of Smoky Mountain folks.
Oh, yeah, a lot of Smoky Mountain folks, Southern wrestling people. And Tony Anthony was one of them. But because this is still mid-1996, if you know anything about mid-1996 WWF, it stinks.
Yeah. Listen, I like Tony Anthony. I like him a lot.
I do too.
But, no offense, his type of character, if the WWE was successful at the time, I don't think they would have ever even entertained the idea of putting him there, especially giving him a gimmick. They wouldn't have entertained anything other than he's a jobber on Superstars.
Yeah, you know what? Unfortunately, I think you're right, Quinn.
Instead, they gave him like a character and vignettes and like a gimmick, and he's on commentary sometimes and shit.
He became... what is that, by
I don't
the way?
know. He's all over the show.
That's another thing we should say. He's a good talker.
Yeah.
He's a good worker in the ring.
Not as Teal Hopper, though.
No.
Wait, hey! Here!
TL Hopper here. How y'all doing out there? Here to talk to you a little bit about plumbing.
So he becomes TL Hopper, which is short for toilet lid. Yes, that's real. I'm not kidding about that. Toilet lid hopper.
Okay, I will say this. I can't help but laugh about the whole thing.
Yeah, of course.
It's so... Here's the thing: is sometimes they're trying to be subtle when it's not.
Yeah, right.
But this is one of those where they're like really just they even know it's kind of funny,
Yeah,
right? And they're just kind of like, let's go with it, right?
It's so dumb.
Yeah, it is like the more I look back at it, the more it really is. They really go for it. They don't try to like. It's like subtle toilet humor. No, it's
toilet humor, right?
Let's do it.
Literal toilet humor.
Yeah.
And he's got a plunger named like Miss Bessie or something like that.
His music is just toilets flushing.
Yeah. Isn't that his music I used for the Royal Flush?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that's his music.
And he is dressed like a plumber, like a stereotypical plumber.
Yeah.
He's got the butt crack, the greasy hair.
Is there any backstory about how his mother decided to name him Toilet Lid Hopper?
I guess his brother Dennis, was born first.
I see.
So then it's just like, well, we can't call him Dennis.
Lid Hopper.
Yeah, Dennis Lid Hopper.
Yeah, DL Hopper.
So anyway, now does he have a great physique by 96? No. And that's like, you could just see that with your eyes.
So why don't we emphasize it by having a sloppy wife beater on? It's all
butt crack pants and
butt
shit.
crack pants, and he's got like a stain on a white shirt. Like it's awful.
Welcome back, everyone, to WWF Superstars. TL Hopper is in the ring. We're taking on Aldo Montoya momentarily.
I know they have to pay him, right? So it's not like they're like, he's working for free. But do they really expect this to get over? There's no way, right?
Well, okay.
Come on.
I don't think they expect it to be like, I don't think they're going to be selling TL Hopper gear or anything.
Well, you could sell foam plungers. Come on, man.
I know.
Shove them up your friend's ass.
But,
I'm sorry.
Did someone say but?
But I think what they really wanted was a guy that they could hype up for like 3 weeks and then he loses to people all the time.
Jobber with a gimmick?
Yeah. Which is what they did with Freddie Joe Floyd and all them.
Same thing, yeah. Alex Porto. Let me ask you a question. Because a lot of people, when they want to exemplify how bad the WWF was in this period of time, they point to things like TL Hopper. Rightfully so. And they're like, how dare they do that to Tony Anthony, blah, blah, blah. But can I ask you an honest question? Would Tony Anthony, just as Dirty White Boy, would anyone have even given a shit in 96 WWF about him?
No pun intended, you mean? No.
Right?
Well, okay, wait a second. He's the kind of guy, actually.
Okay.
That would work on WCW Saturday Night.
WCW?
Yes. Specifically Saturday Night Canon. He's not making it to Nitro.
Okay.
I'm sorry. And maybe, if he did pop something on Saturday night, because sometimes
pop a squat.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes on Saturday night, some guys would like shine or something, and they would give him a shot on Nitro. It's real.
No, true. And then someone would can them.
Oh, come on!
The point is that he seems more at home over there,
right?
Because that's the land of like creative jobbers. And Tony Anthony, even if he was just Dirty White Boy over there,
he would have been fine in WCW.
Yeah. He really would have.
They really missed the boat on his name, though. They could have called him John Hopper.
Yeah. There was a lot of things.
There were other things they could have done.
I hate that the toilet part's in there. Like, they could have kept the lid, but like maybe like...
They don't need to keep the lid either.
Get the lid out.
They could have called him Outhouse Jack. I don't know. They could have called him a lot of different things.
Plunger Hopper, or P Hopper.
Plunger Pete.
P Hopper works because the P...
Yeah,
P Hopper.
His finisher could have been called the Downstream. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway...
Leak.
Leak.
Just leaky.
Yeah. I guess his best match was against Duke Droese, the dumpster.
They wanted that to be a feud, too.
It was one.
They tried. It's like the garbage man versus the plumber.
Welcome back, everyone, to more WWF Superstars. We are pleased you have joined us here this week. TL Hopper, Wrestling Plumber, ready to lock up with Duke, the Dumpster Droese. And you called this the home improvement match, did you, JR?
That's what it is. Try to get Tim Allen, Tim the Toolman Taylor to be the official, but...
They both have dirty jobs, but somebody's got to do it. I think they said this.
They probably
like, JR or someone.
With Kurt Hennig.
Yeah, of course, with the pencil. Like, you know what I mean. That's the kind of shit they do.
So this is a bad era for WWF, so yeah, why not bring in Tony Anthony? See, I don't know. He's small, stature-wise, like 5'9", 5'10".
He does look like he could kick someone's ass, though.
Well, that's the thing. In the right context, he certainly does. But here, when they're going to dress him up like a plumber, I mean, it's definitely not up Vince's alley at all, this guy.
The thing that I find so surprising about this guy is that he was around for quite a while, because after they like got past the initial he can win some matches thing and then he always loses.
Yes.
He started like being one of those like weird background characters if they were like doing something in Titan Towers or like they were fighting in the back. And I feel like there was incidents where like Teal Hopper's actually like plumbing.
Well,
like you know what I'm talking about, right? Like where something else is happening and he's back there.
There's the SummerSlam 96 pre-show at the Gund Arena. Remember, it was like this. Todd's like, we're going to be at the beach. And it's really just they're in the back of the fucking arena and there's a shitty pool.
This is what it's all about. We're going to have the huge bikini beach blast off.
We're at the beach. It's a pool, you asshole.
Oh, right. I remember this. I know where this is going.
Yes. And everyone's swimming around and all of a sudden some brown thing is floating in the toilet. Everyone's
Dookie.
A dookie. Everyone's all disgusted except one man. One man was willing to save the pool.
Yeah.
And it was Teal. He's like, I'll fucking do it.
Well, because it's his job.
Right.
He's just like, this is literally what I do.
Where you going? Oh, jeez, he's going. No, don't touch it.
The worst part is he picks it up with his hand.
Yeah, well.
I mean, he's used to doing dirty jobs, so this is not really an issue to him. But he does, and he saves the day. And then, you know, Sonny and Sable and all them can go play in the pool.
And hate each other.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever it is. Now, he does have one more little WWF run that we have to mention. It's after Teal Hopper.
He got the runs. Sorry.
Very, very good, Quinn.
Yeah.
He came back in the fall of 97.
What?
With the heel Godwins as Uncle Cletus.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I thought you were going to say it was Teal Hopper, but you're right. He was different.
Being accompanied to the ring by Uncle Cletus.
Now, that really sums up what Vince thinks of him, right?
Yeah.
Uncle Cletus.
So,
ha, hillbillies.
Okay, can I say something?
What?
For a long time, I didn't realize Uncle Cletus was him because he looked so different.
He's like, he looks shorter somehow and like fatter.
It's something like his face is different.
Beard is weird.
Yeah, I know. He looks strange.
It's not good.
Yeah.
And then they kind of just turn on Cletus or something and it's over with.
Very sad.
So we talked about what's good about him. I mean, in his element, in Memphis, in Continental, in Smoky Mountain, where he plays the dirty white boy, again, whether he's a face or a heel, he's just got this grit to him that is really appealing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, you believe in him for whatever reason. He's not like the best wrestler in the ring, but he's good in the ring.
Right.
Right? You like him in the ring?
Oh, I do.
I think he's good.
He's okay.
I think he's a good talker.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a fun gimmick. It's just very relatable, down to earth. And then Vince, of course, brings him in as a plumber. And there was no way that was going to work. But I would also say that I don't think it would have worked as Dirty White Boy in the WWF either.
Hell no.
Right?
None of this was ever going to work in WWF.
He's just not that kind of guy.
I like him a lot, too. And
Yeah.
that's the real shame. Honestly, if anything was going to work, it would have been Dirty White Boy, but they would have had to change the name to, like, the Rough Guy or something. Like, I don't know, like, just not... There's weird... That doesn't sound okay for, like, main, like, national Dirty White Boy.
Yeah, you're right. In 96.
Yeah. They could have kept the persona. All they had to do was just change the name.
Just change the name, right. You know, not to the Rough Guy, thoh, please. Let's not call him the Rough Guy.
I don't know. Just something that's not that, but,
Right.
like, it's the same, like, he's a rough and tough dude. Like, you know, that's all.
Rough Ralph.
Rough Ralph. I don't know. You think of names. How about we
Let
have the
us know.
Teal Hopper name generator or
Yeah, there
something?
you
Like,
go.
make a better name for him.
You know, I'm also surprised he didn't rise up in WWF in like 1990 when they were bringing in people like Pez Whatley and Black Bart and shit like that. You know
He
what I
probably
mean?
saw the writing on the wall that he wouldn't make it there. See, the thing is, I think half the reason he came was because wrestling in general was like dying.
Yeah.
And
yes.
and so maybe he was like, I need to make some actual money here.
Right.
And keep going. And I'll be a plumber in WWF if they're going to pay me. I don't give a shit.
I think,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much, Quinn, his actual thing. It's like, I know the gimmick stunk. I needed the job. It was just a job. I did the job. I didn't try that much, but I did the job.
Right. Exactly.
And it is a dirty job.
This was a dirty job to do.
Somebody had to do it. But this is a great pick, Quinn, because this kind of exemplifies what we're going for here. Someone that we really like, that was very successful, very good in their element, right? In the territory, somewhere else, but didn't work in the WWF. So, folks, we'll take suggestions, right?
Yeah.
No reason not to.
Definitely suggestions for this one.
So, first of all, let us know what you think of Tony Anthony. Was there a way that WWF could have made it work, and when? Maybe not 96, maybe some other time. Let us know that on Twitter at OVP Podcast. Join the group, shoot us an email. And also, if you have any suggestions for anywhere but New York, be sure to let us know those as well. Quinn, when we come back, it is the first of the new Royal Rankings. That's right. This time around, it is the best WWF pay-per-views of all time. The first two are coming out of the tank. We're going to see where they rank. That'll be coming up right after this.
Hey, baby, if you're feeling down, I know what's good for you all day.
Dangerous Doug Gilbert. You think you're somebody. You call up the promotion. You wanted a shot at the Smoky Mountain heavyweight champion. Well, that was fine and dandy, tough guy. I come strolling into town, and I put this on the line. It took me a long, hard time to get it. But what did you do? This right here, it don't matter anymore. You understand what I'm saying, Doug Gilbert? You took the dirty white girl, and you pile drived her. Now, you can bust me in my head. You can try to rip my eye out. You can try to break my leg. But I don't give a damn about none of that. But there's one thing you will not do on the face of God's green earth, and that goes for every living person walking, breathing. You do not put your hands on the dirty white girl. So, Doug Gilbert, I'm not worried. I'll put the title on the line. All I want is you in a ring to where I can get my hands on that big bucket head of yours, because you ain't nothing but a crybaby, and I'm taking you out. So get ready, tough guy, because I'm going to beat you up.
And now, back to your romp through the world of retro wrestling. OVP. And welcome back, wrestling fans, to our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast, episode 241. Thanks for being with us here. Monday, October the 4th, be with you, 2021. Quinn just got back from the TL Hopper.
Yeah.
Get it?
It was a big boy.
In the toilet.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Toilet boy.
It's a big hat. It's funny. Anyway, guys, we're going to be doing the Royal Rankings in a second here, but we wanted to mention the Patreon one more time. We're not trying to get rich here. Don't worry. We're not going to bore you with like a 10-minute plug. The reason we do Patreon, Quinn, correct me if I'm wrong, is because we want to give extra content to the people that support us.
That's one reason.
What's the other reason?
It's fun.
Oh, that's right. It is fun. There you go. And at patreon.com/OVP podcast, you're going to get the 2 extra shows that we do. The 1984 canon comes out weekly, every single Friday. It's $2 a month. It's where we are live watching every episode of WWF Championship Wrestling all the way back to January of 82. Right now, we are in March of 1984. We occasionally do some MSG shows as specials and things like that. You just watch it along with us, or you can listen in the audio-only version. It's kind of just like watching wrestling with your friends.
Yeah, it's just hanging out.
Hanging out.
Conversations happen.
Yeah, it's great. Try it. Really, try it. $2 a month. It's fine. And then also on the $5 tier, that will get you the 1984 canon. And for $5 a month, you're also going to get every WWF pay-per-view review in order. We started with the first WrestleMania. Out right now, brand spanking new for October, is Royal Rumble 94. Obviously, that means, Quinn, next month, the biggie, WrestleMania 10.
The big one.
We'll get to see what we really think of that in this modern perspective here.
That's true.
And if you want our thoughts on all those pay-per-views, you can get them there on Patreon. Again, $5 a month. That's the max you have to pay for any of our stuff. And if you want that, go to patreon.com/OVP podcast. We'd appreciate you giving it a try for the rest of October.
Yeah, you could try it.
Just try it. You can cancel if you don't like it, and that'll be it. We won't be offended.
No.
People do that. It's okay.
We like when you try it.
We like... I like to play.
Yeah.
We like when you try it, and above all else, we're thankful that you're even listening.
Yep.
All right. So, Quinn, the Royal Rankings, the new one.
Yeah.
It's new.
It's new.
It's new.
So what are we doing this year season?
This year?
Yeah.
This year we're doing WWF pay-per-views, the best ones and the worst ones. But what is the Royal Rankings and Royal Flush? Well, each season before the season starts, we ask you, the fans, to give us a list of your top 10 of something and your bottom 10 of something. Like we said, this season, it's WWF pay-per-views. That's right. And then what happens is we take all of your votes and we compile them into 2 separate tanks. One for the best, one for the worst. We pull out 2 names at a time, and then we rank them. That way, by the end of the season, what you will have is the definitive certified, ordained, baptized, non-GMO, USDA certified, organic, and healthy best and worst WWF pay-per-views of all time. When there's nothing on the board,
no,
the board's blank.
Well, this is the nice and easy episode.
Yes,
we just rank one, which is better than the other.
Yep,
and it starts to get hairy like by week 2.
Oh yeah, there's hair. Yeah, there will be some hair a little bit later in the season.
Oh, it's gonna be hairy.
But anyway, when we talk about WWF pay-per-views, Quinn, they're obviously important to people because, well, several reasons. One, this is what the company, whether it's in the Big Four era or even now, spends most of their time building towards and promoting.
Yeah, they're also important because you have to get it on a pay-per-view basis, and that costs money.
Basis.
To get the basis.
Yeah, I mean, really, these things always cost money.
I do always feel that the more people order a pay-per-view, the more people are out there that to this day still don't want to admit they ordered a bad pay-per-view. So sometimes those pay-per-views get a little more inflated.
A little more oomph, if you will. Maybe. So what we're going to be talking about here is the best and the worst. This week is the best. And the criteria will get refined and it will file down as we go on in the season. But I think the overall thing, Quinn, is the main event, because that's the biggest reason to watch it usually.
Right. That's usually why you gave them your paid money
your
per view.
That's why you paid for your view.
You paid for that view.
Exactly. You got to pay for that view. The main event, the undercard, will obviously come into consideration. The overall presentation, sometimes the crowd and the heat of the environment factors in. The commentary sometimes plays a part.
Right.
And I think ultimately the overall enjoyment of the show and maybe its impact, how important the show was. Because it's possible to have a really good show that doesn't matter at all.
Right.
Or it's just like the matches are really good.
Well, there's plenty of those.
There are plenty of those.
Oh, boy, there is.
So with that said, everyone's voted. 2 names are coming out. The first thing we have to do, though, is go down to Howard Finkel for the Royal Rankings.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Royal
Rankings. And welcome to WrestleMania 3.
We are here in the Superdome without a doubt.
Now it's time to feel the heat.
Put that cigarette out.
And welcome to WrestleMania 10.
Stone Cold is shaking hands with Satan himself.
Welcome to Star Spangled WrestleMania 7. Spent a lot of money.
It is the Royal Rankings of WWF pay-per-views.
People spend a lot of money on these.
Spend a lot of money on these pay-per-views, Quinn.
Yeah.
Put that cigarette out. Well, this is week number 1, Quinn. This means there's nothing on the slate, like we said.
Right.
The first name will be coming out shortly. We've kind of talked about the importance of pay-per-views. They're the big moneymaker for the company. People look forward to them.
Centered around this.
That's right. This is the reason the weekly programming existed.
Every month, there's something big happening, or every quarter.
Every quarter back then. Once they moved the business away from mainly house show revenue into pay-per-view revenue, these really began to matter. And they matter to the fans that grew up watching this stuff, too. So it'll be a fun time ranking these things. I'm ready if you are, Quinn.
Let's do it.
Let's all find out which pay-per-view drew number 1.
It's the ultimate challenge. It's WrestleMania.
The Ultimate Challenge, WrestleMania 6.
The Ultimate Challenge. We love this pay-per-view.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
talked a lot about it.
Yeah, we have a review available in the archives.
Yeah, you can check the archives on archives.org. Not that site.
Yeah,
don't go there.
don't try that.
It's not there.
But WrestleMania 6, a sentimental favorite of many, many people, and I'm sure that's why it made this list.
Oh, yeah.
Voted in by the fans. Just to clarify, if you're new, Quinn and I don't vote. We just rank. You guys voted.
And this card has like 73 matches on it.
It does.
And it's like 3 hours and 40 minutes
It's
or something.
long,
It's
man.
long.
And you know what? It doesn't feel long, though.
It doesn't feel long.
That's what she said.
I think that's really what's so interesting about it to me.
I agree with you. So WrestleMania 6 is April 1st, 1990, Skydome. The first WrestleMania to be held outside the U.S. Everyone pretty much knows that.
International.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
International!
just literally like a couple miles from the border.
Yeah, literally.
I hate when they would do that.
Well, it is a different nation, though, to be fair. And there were 60-something thousand people there. It's a nice big crowd at the brand new Skydome, which had just opened in 1989, is now the Rogers Center.
Who cares?
Want to start backwards from the main event?
Sure.
Okay, so the main event, the main draw of WrestleMania 6, the build for this in earnest began at Royal Rumble 1990.
Right. There was an encounter.
There was an encounter between Hulk Hogan, the world champion, and the Ultimate Warrior, the Intercontinental champion.
Kind of randomly ran into each other due to the only foes provision of the Royal Rumble.
Did anyone tell Hogan that, by the way?
He never thinks that.
He never seems to remember
he was
that it's
saying
only
that on
foes.
that thing we reviewed recently.
I know,
it's
but
like, everyone's got to be Hulk Hogan's friend. Like, it's like, fuck you. You know what I mean?
And it does come down to a point where it's just the two of them in the ring. They're not the last two, but there's just a break in the action where it's only the two of them.
In between one of those 2 minutes and everyone's eliminated. It's
Yep.
just them.
Look at this! Look at this!
My God.
Hulk Hogan and the Warrior!
The crowd in Orlando goes wild for this.
They basically say that this is what we want the main event to be.
Yeah.
And the WWF didn't need to do anything else. They
really didn't.
The crowd was like, yeah.
Right.
Like, duh. Like, we want to see Hulk Hogan fight Ultimate Warrior.
Right. So that's what they did. And they built to it very quickly, just throughout the winter heading into WrestleMania with Hogan and Warrior kind of saving each other, but then everyone would get all testy about it.
Yeah, Earthquake in the Brown.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a lot of... Everyone knows all the things.
Yes.
I think the draw here, for me, personally, always has been the double title thing, that both of them are on the line.
Champion
That's
versus
something
champion.
that no pay-per-view had.
No.
No,
literally, they never did that before.
That was very attractive over just like a standard match for the WF title or whatever.
Totally agree with you. Title for title on the line. The Ultimate Warrior on television, undefeated except for that one loss to Rick Rude at 5.
Mm-hmm.
And Hulk Hogan, very rarely defeated. Obviously, the controversial thing with Andre.
Yeah.
February of 88. But
$1 Million Man and everything.
$100 bills falling out, all that stuff. So the main event, that is a tremendous main event. We've talked about this before on paper. I mean, what a great main event.
That's a draw. That's
a
something
draw.
people will actually pay for.
And both guys are faces, too. Both guys are fan favorites.
True.
You get kind of a little bit of a newer generation with the Warrior fans.
Yeah.
But Hulkamania is still very much running wild.
Hulkamania is running it.
Absolutely.
It's running the show.
But on the undercard, Quinn, let's just run down the matches in order now.
Sure.
From the opener. Well, the dark match, if you care, Paul Roma defeated the Brawler.
Nobody saw that. Should we have a rule that should not factor in
in.
dark matches?
No.
It's like nobody saw that. Let's be honest.
No one saw that. So we'll just talk about the match real quick as we go. So Rick Martel defeated Koko in the opener, which is a nice little quick opener.
I love that opener.
Me too.
Because first of all, Martel's music is like blaring through the arena,
I love
and it's
that.
very good.
And his hair is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Koko fighting with an ice bridge.
Yes.
All that stuff.
So this actually, it's interesting. This match sets the pace for the commentary, which is another draw on this show.
That is, Quinn, because Jesse and Gorilla doing their last pay-per-view together, by the way, are the most fun, I think, with each other that
They're
they've ever
stellar.
been. They really are.
This is like one of their best performances together.
It is, Quinn. They're having so much fun, but they're still being serious when they need to. They're not bitchy with each other like Survivor Series 89.
There's so many memorable things that they say.
Robert Goulet reminded me a little of Axl Rose.
Axl Rose?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Axl Rose, Jeff.
From Guns N' Roses.
Oh, Guns N' Roses. Okay, that Axl.
They spent a lot of monies on this.
Right, mustard on your lapels.
Mustard on the lapels.
All that stuff with Jesse talking about Dusty Rhodes and all that stuff. It's such a fun time.
Hasn't she ever heard of Slim Fast or whatever that stuff is?
You're going to get that on CD, right, Gorilla?
Yeah, CD. Terry, Tyrell, and Jade.
Yeah, I don't know anyone. That whole thing. Anyway, so Koko loses to Rick Martel. Nice little opener. And then we get a biggie right off the bat here. Match number 2. Demolition going for the three-peat. The three-peat. They have lost the titles to the Colostomy
What does
Connection.
that mean?
That's why I didn't stutter, Jess.
Yeah.
So Andre and Haku are the tag champions. Andre, obviously, in much deteriorated health here, barely does anything in the match.
But he puts on a moment
He
in
does.
the end. He, even in this is Andre's send-off, if you will.
Yes, it was.
And I feel even hurt, Andre did what he needed to do here, and it got a huge pop when he turned on Bobby the Brain.
Yeah, because Bobby, after the match, obviously Demolition wins. We'll get to that in a sec. But after the match, Bobby gets all up in Andre's face.
I'm the fucking boss.
I'm the fucking boss. He paintbrushed him, Jess,
Yeah.
And Andre gets to remember my cart.
Yeah, and then Andre kicks everyone off the cart, and then he goes, and he finally gets to wave on the cart, and everyone's cheering for him and not throwing garbage at him.
It is like a perfect circle from WrestleMania 3.
It does. It's like cyclical.
And that's another thing to break here. The carts. They brought the carts back.
Yes. Because
how good are they?
Is there only 2 overall WrestleManias that use the carts?
Yeah, 3 and 6.
Because they didn't bring them back at 8, where it would be the only other usage for them.
Yeah, that would have been cool, actually.
Yeah.
But the carts add to the ambiance, in my opinion. But let's talk about Demolition, Quinn. You and I have often said this is like the height of Demolition.
Uh-huh.
Their entrance on the carts.
Oh, it's very good. They're like doing the both hands up. It's excellent.
And then when they win, the pop for that victory.
Over for the cover. It's over. New tag team champion.
And then relative newcomer Earthquake defeats Hercules, who was still punching around there in mid-90.
Yep, and Gorilla bitches at it. Oh, he sent 1 million people to the hospital
That's right.
or whatever.
29 men or something like that. And Earthquake we love. We've really developed a real affection for Earthquake.
But he's heel here.
He's a
still
heel here.
Slightly Canadian.
Yeah.
They don't really say it, even though he's in Canada. This is like when they should call him Canadian Earthquake.
I guess maybe he's just domestic Earthquake here, Quinn. It's a nice little match, quick. I have no problem with it. And then Brutus the Barber Beefcake, what are you doing?
Yep, we go into that with Sean Mooney and everything.
So Perfect and Beefcake have been feuding since Rumble 90 when Beefcake was facing the Genius. And then
I hate this feud.
It's dumpy.
Stupid.
It's dumpy. It is.
I feel like this is more leftovers from when Perfect got mad and like broke the WF belt on Saturday Night's Main Event.
That's exactly what it is. But then they just like, Hogan's like, I got to do something else, brother. And
you handle it, Brutus.
Yeah. Okay, Hulk. You know?
I'll do it. You want me to kiss your ass too?
I'll take your cocaine for you. Anyway, Mr. Perfect was billed as undefeated. He wasn't, but, you know, let's pretend that he was.
I feel like they always say he's undefeated and he never is. Like, I don't know how they pull that off. There's so many times where they just keep acting like it.
Right. But he definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
But for the sake of their canon, he was. And Brutus Beefcake with the upset win.
Right.
After the slingshot to the post. Great pop for that. Matches whatever. It's Mr. Perfect on pay-per-view.
Honestly,
so,
you know, at this point in time, with how Brutus Beefcake was still considered like, he was like a Duggan or Hogan style, like mid, like he was somewhere in between Duggan and Hogan.
He's
right?
upper mid.
Yeah, he's upper mid, right?
Yes.
It felt logical that Brutus Beefcake would finally end this. He's like one of the kind of mid-carders that could do that.
Sure, and
right?
especially if they were going to build him to the IC title.
Right, exactly. So this kind of felt natural to me.
Yeah, I had no problem with that. The next thing I had a problem with, the match is absolutely horrible. Bad News Brown versus Roddy Piper.
The Hot Scott.
Yeah, the Hot Rod or the Hot Scott. They just roll the fuck around. It is terrible.
See, you know what upsets me about this match? It's the only real disappointing match on this card to me.
Well,
because
I got another.
I like the idea of Bad News Brown and Roddy Piper, two brawlers going at it, and I really wish they kind of leveraged more than fighting around the arena, because they had all this space that could have gone all up the aisle and shit.
You're right. It's very underwhelming, very disappointing, right?
Yeah. Why couldn't they make it no count out or something to kind of say, like, these are brawlers, right? You know, like,
sweeten the pot a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
that's all. Just not just a regular match.
Yeah,
like,
that's all it was.
Yeah, they should have made like no disqualification, no count out, or,
right?
You know, which they could do back then still.
Yeah, they could have.
Yeah,
but hey, they didn't. It's not very good.
Special no holds barred match.
Yeah,
or
no
something.
holds barred match. Texas death match. Maybe,
yeah, that's all they got to do.
Would have been fine. Double counted on that one. The Hart Foundation make a very quick cameo to defeat the Bolsheviks.
Yeah,
extremely quickly.
Brett does the count into the camera.
You know, we're going to win the tag titles again from the Demolition.
Right, so they're already like hyping Demolition versus Hart Foundation,
which
at
is
this
cool,
point.
man.
Yeah,
good stuff. Then an underrated little
excellent.
Want
match.
to talk about it? Go ahead.
The Barbarian, newly acquired by Bobby the Brain.
And you know what Bobby had to do to get Barbarian?
Spent a lot of money.
Yes, Barbarian against Tito.
Yeah.
Why is this so good, Quinn? Can you try to explain it?
So, first of all, it's the perfect length. It's like 4 minutes or something, right? It's exactly my kind of match. Like, it's a little bit back and forth, and then Tito starts landing his shit, and you think it's over, right? But then the Barbarian suddenly comes back, and he hits this clothesline that just looks fucking beautiful from like the second rope, and Tito does like a spinny spin when he gets hit by it. It's great.
It's great.
And like the whole package is like amazing. Like it just kind of says like, okay, the Barbarian's like a legit guy, but it also doesn't really make Tito look that shitty.
Yeah, if you recall, the match is competitive. Yeah. Tito almost wins. He gets a flying forearm, and Barbarian gets a foot on the ropes.
Yeah, it's kind of like the guy who gets the last most impactful move wins.
And that's one of your favorite ways to finish a match, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just like there it is. Got it. Get out of here.
He got him and pin him 1, 2, 3 because that's how it would work in real life.
No drama or anything.
Yeah, it's like a perfect little.
It is. It's a snack. It's like a nice little snack, that match.
Gets me ready for this next match here.
This next match, I've seen ridiculed by people. I've seen like, how dare they do this to the Macho Man? How dare they do this to Dusty? Let me tell you something. This feud, Dusty and Sapphire,
it's so good.
Savage and Sherry, is so much fun.
Yes.
Is it match? Is it a match?
No,
Who cares?
I don't think that's really what they're going for
Of
here.
course not.
This is to sell out the house shows across the nation. That's what this really is, because
it's a house show feud.
Right. Because there does seem to be an appetite to, first of all, there seems to be an appetite to see Queen Sherry always get her comeuppance every night of the week.
She's one of those characters that you can never get tired of that, right?
Yeah,
the way she sells it.
The idea, and I love the idea of Sapphire being the common woman.
I love it.
And Sherry, this overdressed, like whatever she is, and then always getting punched out, knocked out, her hair all fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just, it's a very easy sell and comfort food thing, right? And then you got Randy Savage and Dusty Rhodes, who are two stars in their own right.
Absolutely.
I just kind of like their involvement in this. It's perfect. It's like, on one hand, you're like, this is a serious feud. On the other hand, there's all this nonsense.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Brother Love show at Royal Rumble 90 was the perfect build for this, where Brother Love had Sapphire and Sherry. Right? Brother Love's all smarmy and sucking up to Sister Queen.
Right.
And Sherry's just insulting the shit out of Sapphire, like mean, right?
Like really mean shit.
Being mean. And finally, Sapphire's like, I've had enough of you. And everyone's like, fuck
It's like
yeah.
a massive pop.
Yes.
And then on top of it, just to sweeten the pot in this WrestleMania thing, right, is that Dusty Rhodes is like, we got the crown jewel. And, maybe some kids were not, they're like, what does he mean?
Sean Mooney's like, crown jewel.
Everyone, you're supposed to be all confused, right? And then Miss Elizabeth comes back. And then that Randy Savage is like, what? He flips the fuck out. Sherry, of course, starts jumping up on the second rope and it's like, no!
Tearing her hair out,
It's just, they are lovely, their reaction to this. And then Miss Elizabeth gets to do the snaps
the
to
old
the Dusty music.
wedding snap and clap,
It's a fantastic little thing. I love it.
And this is where Gorilla and Jess are hysterical this whole match.
Oh my God. Jesse is all upset.
Wait a minute. Rhodes touched Sherry first, right?
Yeah, because
all right. Then anything he gets, he deserves. He started it.
Well, why not let them all get in there, all four of them at once?
Wait a minute, Monsoon. Rhodes started it.
You're condoning everything.
Certainly, because Rhodes started it.
Look out!
Rhodes touched Sherry first, that.
And Liz gets to finally do an offensive move to Sister Queen.
Far more active.
Yeah.
Everything about this is fun.
Right.
And the right people win. Dusty,
not to mention you get the Rona Barrett shit before it.
Thank you, Rona. Yeah, we got that. Dusty and Sapphire win, as they should. The faces go over. I love it. It's so much fun. The next match is the other disappointing one for me, Quinn.
Right.
This is the original Orient Express, which is Sato and Tanaka.
Sato.
He stinks.
Shinja, if you're not.
Shinja.
If you don't, and probably people don't even know who that is.
The guy with Hakushi.
Yeah.
They take on the Hungover Rockers.
Right.
Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
This is the issue. Okay, Shawn Michaels is hungover, but he's workable, right? You can tell, right?
Yeah,
he's like his normal sort of self.
Yes.
Probably not his best, but still,
he's okay.
Nobody could really tell the difference. Marty is falling a fucking sleep out there and shit. It's horrible.
He's bad out there.
Yeah.
The best one is Pat Tanaka.
Right.
He's the star of this match, and that's not saying much.
They do a thing you can tell where Shawn Michaels starts kind of taking over.
Yeah.
Right? It was
Shawn and Tanaka carry this.
Yeah, they just kind of, Shawn's like, okay, I'll just suck it up, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a little hungover too, but I can still handle myself.
Right.
Marty's not even present, and Sato's 100 years old, so.
So this is dump. I mean, when you think Orient Express Rockers, most people think of their later match with...
The other one.
Yeah, with Paul Diamond at Rumble, but this is crummy. It ends by count out when Marty gets the cocaine in his eyes.
Cocaine eyes, which is, it really sums it all up.
Yeah, there you go.
Him walking around outside with white powder in his eyes.
There you go, Quinn. The next match was Duggan taking on Bravo and kind of a time killer.
No offense, I love this because Duggan just hits Dino Bravo with the thing.
Oh, no, it's funny with the 2x4.
Fuck this shit.
This is fun.
To me, this is exactly what I want faces to do with Dino Bravo. Blatantly cheat because he's so annoying at this point.
He is. No,
it's
big crony with Earthquake.
He's such a crony that no one feels bad for him.
No, and he's in his home country.
Yeah, when Duggan just hits him with a fucking 2x4 in the back and pins him, everyone's like, okay, we don't care. Good.
That's true. And this gives us the memorable bit about Gorilla bitching about Earthquake and the manager's license.
Also, how it's not a foreign object or something.
That's Steve Allen later, yes. But again, one of those short, quick matches, no problem there. The next one is also disappointing, Quinn.
This seemed like it would be one of the top matches on the card.
Yes, it really did. DiBiase versus Virgil for, I guess, the quote unquote vacant $1 million title because remember, Jake Roberts took it.
I never thought that it was really vacant.
Me neither.
But anyway, so there seems to be like this is kind of a year build if you think about it because there's for the first part is where the $1 million title with the cape and the vampire and all that happens.
I'm here.
Right. So finally, DiBiase has got this $1 million title. It's been kind of going on for a while, right? And they've kind of been for a while saying like, oh, it's never on the line.
Yes.
Right. And that's what's been angering the fans is that they want
Gorilla.
they want to see him put the belt on the line. Right. So finally, Jake forces the issue by just taking it and saying, you want it back?
Come
you
get it.
got to beat me. Essentially forcing his hand and saying that it's on the line, basically.
Basically.
Right?
But they do a great job building it. They really do. And then we get to this, and it's pretty underwhelming. It's kind of boring.
Well, okay, so I want to say this. First of all, the entrances are really good.
Entrances are great.
The entrances are great, and then all of a sudden it becomes the wave match.
Well, it becomes a wave match in a headlock or a rest hold of some kind.
I don't know why.
I will say the Avarice promo by Jake is fantastic.
So yeah, everything in and around the match is good, but I will say from the bell ringing for the beginning to the bell ending are hideous. However, once the bell rings, all the shit that happens afterwards is fantastic.
Yes, with Virgil and everything like that.
All of that.
Yeah, the DDT. All the post-match stuff is great.
The pre and post, just the match.
They went out and had a fucking house show match.
Right. A sit around, do nothing match. But then the thing is they deliver on all the other parts.
Every
which
other
is
aspect
wild.
is great.
Yeah.
Yep. So, underwhelming in the ring, though. Then the Big Boss Man quickly defeated Akeem.
In a match that I felt like, wow, there was a whole, like, year of this. Again, the Twin Towers are going to fight each other, right? Yep. It's nothing.
It's
like,
nothing.
Big Boss Man beats him in 2 seconds.
Yeah, which rightfully so. Boss Man should win, but still, it's very brief.
His tag partner can't give him a little more trouble?
No trouble. I guess not. Then, right before the main event, Steve Allen joins the booth.
Right.
As Rick Rude, who now, Quinn, let's note this, please, has the slick hair. Can you explain the importance?
Yes. So the importance is now that he's more serious, right?
Yes.
I always thought, okay, I will say this. He went from looking douchey to actually looking like kind of impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know why the slick hair made him look more muscular or something. Because you know what I mean? Like, so all of a sudden you're like, wow, there's a big dude. Like, he's going to fucking kick this guy's ass,
He
right?
looks legit, whereas with the puffy hair, he looks like a joke.
Right.
Not
exactly.
a joke, but he just looks silly.
And he takes out Jimmy Snuka, who, you know, still had some name cred by this point, right?
He did.
So, and he just kicks his ass. Like, quickly. And you're like, oh, I guess Rick Rude's now like, he doesn't even like, the thing that's different about this for most Rick Rude matches is that he doesn't struggle with them. He just kicks his ass and wins against like not a jobber.
Right. No,
you know what I mean?
still got cred. You're right about that.
That's why I always thought this was interesting. And you could tell that this is kind of setting up, they want him to be positioned for SummerSlam.
Absolutely. Want him to be a main eventer.
Right.
And then speaking of main events, we got the Ultimate Challenge here. We've said a lot about this match in various places. We've done it when it came to WrestleMania main events. We did a whole review on WrestleMania 6. So without rehashing too much, the entrances are awesome because both guys run out.
Right.
Well, Hogan stomps out, you know, and Warrior runs out. Warrior looks fantastic here.
Right.
The hair, the attire, the IC belt. Hogan still looks awesome.
Right.
The crowd is really ready for this.
The match is good.
The match is good. Gorilla and Jess, no joking in this one, really. Very, like, straightforward. Jesse with that great voice for the big fight feel.
Right.
You know, when he turns off the jokes and it's awesome. And it's a back and forth match. It's not a classic in terms of, you know, exchanges of holds.
For Hogan, it's top at this time period, it's top tier.
It's one of Hogan's best pay-per-view matches, and it is one of Warrior's best. The Ultimate Warrior has several very good pay-per-view matches.
As a 5-star match.
Well, from you, yes.
SummerSlam 1989. Check it out, 5 stars.
I think his WrestleMania 7 ordeal is 5 stars as well.
I agree.
The whole thing. But
I think we gave both those matches 5 stars.
The angle, at least, I might have. But anyway, this was the passing of the torch. You know, Hogan was the champion, despite the Savage reign and all that. He was still the guy for 6 years at this point. This was the first time they were truly going to pass it to somebody, and it was the Ultimate Warrior, and he wins clean.
Look out, the big splash. 1, 2. He got him. He got him. Unbelievable. The Warriors won the title.
And the celebration and the post-match and the passing of the belt, you know, the symbolic passing of the torch, it's really well done. It's a great moment, especially if you like the Warrior. If you like Hogan, then you're probably devastated. But if you like the Warrior, like a young Tony Leg Day, then this is the greatest day of your life, right? So that's the matches. And this one was a very detailed description because we just know this event inside and out, right?
Right.
But there's some intangibles in this one, such as, because it's a WrestleMania, there's some celebrities. We talked about Rona Barrett with the little Elizabeth thing. We talked about Steve Allen, who's also very funny with the Bolsheviks in the bathroom, and also the rhythm and blues thing.
Fantastic.
It's all very good. We mentioned the commentary, some of the promos, the Colostomy Connection, all that stuff.
This show's got it all.
It really does. Top to bottom, this is one of my favorite WWF pay-per-views of all time. Now, Quinn, we know we're not just ranking our favorite. This is scientific.
Well, okay, so then who's next?
We're going to have to find out who's next. Let's do it. Let's find out who drew number 2.
And then Nuptials turn to napalm.
Nuptials turn to napalm, Quinn.
Aha.
SummerSlam 91.
SummerSlam 91. Now, a lot of people like this show a lot.
I think more than you and I might.
Yeah.
But I do like it. Don't get me wrong.
And listen, I'm not saying it's bad.
It's great.
It's one of those shows, I won't say it's like maybe it is a little overinflated. Maybe we need to walk through the card again and really to understand. But it is.
It's great, Quinn.
Listen, I'm not saying it's bad. It's definitely one of my top. It's in my top 10. Let's put it that way.
Pay-per-views?
Yeah.
Okay, so it would fit into your ranking anyway.
Yeah.
So SummerSlam 91, August 26th, 91 at MSG. It came home. It had first been there in 1988. MSG is a great arena, obviously, for the WWF.
Now, is this the one where the Heat returned?
No, it had already returned at 90.
Okay.
This is where the Nuptials turned to napalm.
Right, okay.
Remember?
There was no Heat returning at all.
No, it's there
before before the Nuptials.
No, the Heat's there. They don't. They're not acknowledging the Heat.
Okay,
you know what
I
I
see.
But it is there. Don't worry. So the big main events, plural, here are two things: the match made in hell,
right?
Which, yeah, if you watch it, it sure is. It's Hulk Hogan. Again, the face team, great. Hulk Hogan teaming with the Ultimate Warrior. Now, for the first time on pay-per-view, so that's kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
And I guess, Quinn, the first two SummerSlams, 88 and 89, were both headlined by Hulk Hogan-related tag attraction matches. Right? Hogan and
this
Savage.
is definitely in the vein of Hogan Beefcake,
right.
You know, that
Hogan,
kind of thing.
Hogan Savage taking on the Mega Bucks. So
the only one they didn't do that was with Hogan Earthquake at SummerSlam 90.
Because they did a double main event.
Yeah.
But the problem here is not the Hogan and Warrior team. The problem is who they're facing. So Sergeant Slaughter still running with the Iraqi sympathizer gimmick.
It was a little far past its expiration date. He already should have turned face, if you ask me.
I agree with you.
Like, it's like, this shit was bullshit. I got, tricked or whatever.
Well,
whatever he said. I don't know. Like,
it was a little leery doing it at WrestleMania because the war was already over, but they had to stick with it.
This is way after it's over.
Way after. They're still going with this, right? So
they seem like generic boilerplate heels at this point. Like, they're not anything. They're not relevant anymore.
Not at all. And it doesn't help that it's the Iron Sheik not trying. And General Adnan's 55 or some shit, wrestling in his shirt. It's really a poor match.
Yes.
It is. It's not a good wrestling match.
No.
It's not. The Heat might leave for this match because there's no heat.
I will say, you say it's poor, but it's also the thing, though, Joe.
It's a Coliseum video main event,
yes,
Quinn.
Exactly. It still meets the minimum requirement of the heels, it's goofy and stupid, and the heels lose and the faces win. And it doesn't, like I said, it's very, I think boilerplate is the best. It's just, you get what you think you're going to get.
Very generic.
Yeah.
In fact, out of the 3 Hogan tag matches, right, 88, 89, and this is the worst one.
Right.
Anyway, the team of Hogan and Warrior is great. And the big draw there, too, is Sid is the ref, and it's are they going to pay him off?
Yeah, this whole Sid thing, and it's 3-on-2, so it's is Sid going to help the faces because they need it?
Yeah, or is he going to help the heels because he's an asshole?
Right, yeah.
But they just recycled the Jesse Ventura thing from 88, you know? It's not that great. Anyway, the other main event is Randy Savage and Elizabeth are going to get married.
Cool.
In New York.
And then now there's this guy that Savage knows, Tim or something there.
Tim. Oh, my best Mion, Tim.
Yeah.
And this started, the whole Randy and Liz thing started in 85, obviously.
This is really, the funny part to me about this is that this is really just tying a loose end from WrestleMania 7.
That's all it is.
It's
tying the knot.
Here's the thing is I think the assumption after they reunite is, well, of course they're going to get married, right? That was that was almost like the nudge to the audience. Okay, they're like he's going to propose to her. But it's so obvious after that point.
Well, because they start hyping it on Superstars around June or July. When Roddy is, I think Roddy's on the team still. Oh, what I gotta do, Savage? I don't know. And then finally they're in the ring.
Elizabeth, will you marry me?
So yeah, we're cordially invited to their wedding.
Yep.
And it's in the state of New York.
By the laws of the state of New York.
And it's just a wedding. That's the thing, is that nothing happens until after the show.
Yes, which didn't air on the pay-per-view version, just Coliseum and on primetime in the syndicated. But the funniest part of the wedding is Bobby Heenan.
Right.
And when we did the review of this, available in the archives, Gorilla and Piper get so pissed with Bobby because he's just constantly making jokes and all this.
Beautiful. The ring bearer is really a midget, I found out. Stop.
But
if Vince was there, it'd be a lot of stop at Bobby Heenan.
Stop at Bobby Heenan. It is fun, though.
Yeah.
It's a fun little event, whatever. And then the aftermath of the wedding reception with the Snake
and Undertaker and all them.
It is fun.
Elizabeth laughing.
Yeah.
It's all stupid.
It is silly. But let's run down the card now from the beginning. So the dark match, again, these don't matter, but Coco Beware getting a win over Kato.
Doesn't affect the rating, Joe.
No, not at all.
Not officially in the science.
Then we got a dopey six-man to open this year, and I say dopey just because it's very pointless, but it's fine.
Yeah.
The British Bulldog, Ricky Steamboat, the Dragon, excuse me, just the Dragon, and the Texas Tornado.
This match feels like, look, all these people that work here. Like we got them.
Pretty much. They take on Slick's final stable here of Power and Glory, who are good. Quinn, are they good?
Yes. However, Hogan has already defaced them by this point.
At Survivor Series.
This is surprising that they're still around.
They are. They're still there.
SummerSlam 91.
They're almost the end of their run.
Yeah.
And the Warlord with his wand. And of course, the W stands for what?
Wand.
Yes. So they win in a 10-minute stand. Again, very boilerplate.
Very open to show up.
Yep.
Kind of get everyone in the seats.
Yep.
That's it.
Nothing wrong with it, but
no,
it's fine. Then the one that I'd say this event is most remembered for, Bret Hart, who has begun his singles push in earnest finally. He's taken on Mr. Perfect, the perpetual Intercontinental Champion for this time period. And this is a great wrestling match finally for Mr. Perfect on pay-per-view.
It's the best Mr. Perfect match to this point.
Yes, it really is. And it takes Bret Hart and Perfect really persevering through injury to pull this off.
It's very good. A lot has been said about it. It's like a 4-ish
it's
star
a classic.
match. Yeah.
It's a classic, right? Kurt is a gentleman. He really did everything he could to put Bret over. Bret has nothing but kind words to say about this match. It is Bret's coming out party.
Yeah.
The worst part of it is Coach.
Yes. But you know what? Okay. So a lot of people might say, this is kind of a one-match card, right? But I don't feel that way about it.
I don't either.
But I think there's some people who might think maybe that's why we think it's overinflated, right?
No.
But that's not it. So what's next?
So the newly formed Natural Disasters, who are best friends, they love each other.
It's very good.
They're such a nice team, but they're heels, and they have Jimmy Hart. They defeat the old stalwarts, the Bushwhackers, because when you need to put someone over, put them against Bushwhackers.
They got Andre, though, in the sticks.
Kramer shirt.
Yeah.
And he waves the sticks around, but the Natural Disasters still win.
Right.
Nice to see Andre one last time on pay-per-view. Nice to see the new heel team getting a big win.
Very good.
Virgil, then.
This is one of my favorite things on this show.
So Virgil, this has been brewing since Royal Rumble, and even before that, where Virgil finally had enough of DiBiase.
Pick it up and all that.
Pick it up.
The boots.
Yep.
All the weird vignettes where where even are they?
Why does DiBiase have a cowboy hat on?
Yeah, why is he at a ranch or something? When did that exist in the DiBiase canon?
It just can.
Yeah.
And then WrestleMania 7, Virgil wins by DQ, I believe it is, right?
And Piper won't shut up.
Come on, Virgil!
Yeah, come on, Verge.
But it's all coming to a head here because the $1 million title is again on the line. Where Ted DiBiase, who is now with Sherry,
which this just adds to it. I'm sorry, this is already a good thing.
Well, Sherry adds to everything, Quinn.
Right,
she just does.
This is the first pay-per-view though that Sherry is now fully converted to $1 million man.
Yes,
and she's got the new gear and all this shit.
Yep.
She gets really fucking involved in this.
She does. Yeah. In fact, they have to restart the match, don't they?
Right. So in Sherry fashion, she's doing fucking karate kicks out there and hitting people with her purse. She won't shut the fuck up out there.
Yes.
And finally, Like Hebner is just like, get the fuck out. Like they just throw her out finally.
Like enough.
Because for years this has been going on with Macho King. Right? So it's like, wow, okay. Like and then that makes the whole match shine to me because there's this moment where you're like, oh my God, he might lose the $1 million. Like it might finally fucking happen, right?
And it does happen.
Yeah.
And the crowd goes wild.
No.
It is a feel-good moment if there ever was one. Especially on this card at MSG where you've already had Brett win. You know what I mean? This is just such another... this is a very happy show.
Right.
It's one of the reasons I like it so much.
And then this is so happy. And then the next thing is even better.
So Big Boss Man, the Law and Order in the blue, takes on the Mountie, the Law and Order in the red.
From Canada.
The Canadian Law and Order.
Yeah.
Police moves! And Jimmy Hart, of course, with Mountie.
He loves his Mountie.
And obviously their stipulation here, Quinn, is that the loser must spend the night in a New York City jail.
Which on its face is so dumb. Like
it doesn't make any sense.
First of all, how does this work? Like, is there like some kind of
contract with the jail?
The cops, it's like, can we use your prison for a night? Like, how does any of this work? Right?
You don't even have to think about it.
You don't have to ask
right?
questions.
Nope.
It's just that is what it is.
That is what it is. And it's a regular wrestling match, and it's a Jacques Rougeau special, and Bossman's great in 91, and we love Jacques Rougeau in the ring and also on the mic. So Bossman wins, right? Just no chicanery.
Pretty easily, but that's not really the point, right? It's like the point is the Mountie, he's going to prison, and this is going to be the rest of the show, and very funny.
So as they're escorting him out, he's already screaming in his high-pitched Jacques Rougeau, "Oh, you can't do this to me!"
Yeah,
you know,
it's hurting my... the cuffs, he's complaining about the cuffs.
You're hurting me!
You're hurting me!
You're hurting me! You're hurting me!
Every single thing, and they're not even like hurting him, like they're just like casually like making him like go there.
They're trying not to
they're
laugh.
actually being nice, and they're trying not to laugh mostly, but he's just even like them just touching him, like when they take his fingerprints, he's selling like that. It hurts. The like pressing his finger on the thing hurts.
Yo!
Yeah.
Finger. You want the finger? There's the finger. Yeah! Ouch! Yeah! Don't!
As if he stepped on a tack or something. Like, it's insane.
And then the mugshot, they have to trick him into it. They're like, "You won't take my picture." And they're like, "I heard Bossman kicked your butt, right?" What?
Yeah. And then, on top of all of it, they clip back to Jimmy Hart, who's flipping the fuck out, like, with Gene in the interview center. It's like, "That's my Mountie! Oh, my God!
Oh, my God,
I gotta call my lawyers, baby!
Oh, my God, baby! I'm on the phone with my lawyers!"
Yeah.
It is just such a classic performance by Jacques and everyone.
Single person involved, it's great.
It's tremendous.
Bossman, like, happily, like, helps take him out to the jail cart. It's amazing.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
And then, again, this is fun. The Legion of Doom gets their big WWF moment here.
Yeah.
They win the tag titles against the Nasty Boys, who had defeated the Hart Foundation in a street fight, which is really just a standard tag match with no DQs. It's not that street fighty.
Yeah.
But it is a great moment because now the Legion of Doom have firmly established themselves as the top tag team in the WWF, and rightfully so.
I will say, I think what makes this show so memorable is these three things right in a row. Would you say that?
I would, yeah. Virgil, well, and Brett versus Perfect as well.
Right, but I'm saying this cements the show because there's three crazy-ass things right in a row.
Yeah.
You'll never forget that.
That's true, Quinn. Yeah, I mean, the Legion of Doom winning, everything here is feel-good.
Yeah.
It's giving the fans what they want, but then what happens?
But then IRS shows up, and then everything goes downhill, like, quite literally.
Gotta cool the crowd down, I guess, right? So
yeah, but then we even said the main event's bad, and like the wedding is a wedding.
It's a wedding.
It's like literally IRS. He like rings the death bell, and it's over. You know?
Yeah, I mean, IRS making his pay-per-view debut here defeats the face version of Greg Valentine. Yeah. It's whatever.
Why didn't they put the Undertaker on this show?
You know, I don't know the answer
just so he
to
could
that.
just lurk around at the wedding. I mean, like
maybe.
I mean, it's just stupid though.
Well, I think because wasn't the Undertaker kind of feuding with Warrior? Why couldn't he team up? Why couldn't it be Warrior and Jake against Hogan?
You got all this shit going on, and there's no Undertaker. Yeah, like his hottest period. You know what I mean? Like he's new.
I don't generally try to fantasy book cards that I really like because they're good, but on paper, Quinn, Hogan and Warrior against Undertaker and Jake Roberts.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been a great match here. I guess they figured they didn't need to. Maybe they just
No one cared about Mustafa and all them. Yeah.
But anyway, and then we have the main event, which we mentioned. It's crappy. It's fine,
Whatever.
but it's nothing.
And
And
the
then the
wedding.
wedding. Everything about this show, though, is very well produced, very quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really think the successive 3 things in the middle, that's literally the frosting in the middle. It's so good.
Yeah, and when you add the Brett thing to that, that's 4 really good things.
The
out of
bread,
it.
the bread thing's the bread, like the first layer of bread, like
Bret Hart?
the real substance of the show.
Can I say Bret Hart? Is that okay?
Bret Hart, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, you're right about that. I think when you have like 4 really good things on an 8-match card plus a wedding, it's hard to miss, right?
Yeah.
Commentary, I will say this. Piper's there, but it's the best he ever is because Brain is there with Gorilla. Everyone is just having a good time. Let's not fail to mention Lord Alfred Hayes with Stu Hart.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Stu, tell us exactly what you think about your son. It's wonderful. Why don't you go?
Bruce trying to get camera time with his sunglasses.
Helen looks like she doesn't want to be there.
I fucking hate it.
Is this over yet?
But really, Quinn, this is a great little event here.
Yeah.
I've always liked it, but now we got to talk about which one's better.
WrestleMania 6.
WrestleMania 6, I think. But
this is like the easiest ranking ever.
But can we talk about why, to be fair? I mean, in my opinion, the main event is better at 6.
Yes. Well, okay, there's the main event, right?
Off the bat.
The other thing is that as much as SummerSlam 91 has this, like I said, it's very good in the middle. It's got shit that really drags it down. Whereas WrestleMania 6 just feels like a straight, consistent line. There's no like ups and downs.
Yeah, it does.
Everything feels consistent. I think that's really what, to me, stands out about it.
WrestleMania 6 is very consistent and very fun.
Yeah.
And everything that is stupid and pointless is very short.
Mm-hmm.
Although, let's be honest here. This depends on what people look for in a pay-per-view. Because if you're looking for, like, match, it's got Brett versus Perfect, SummerSlam 91. And there's no match on that quality that is at WrestleMania 6. But
Jake and DiBiase is supposed to be that, and it fails.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you're talking about bite-sized portions of, like, really fun things, WrestleMania 6 does that really well.
It's also just the ambiance and the everything. We've always said this. It's like the best, worst wrestled show ever or whatever. You know how we kind of describe it that way? We don't intentionally mean to, but like...
No, but like...
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always been that way, where it's... The wrestling just doesn't fucking matter on that show.
It's all about the overall ambiance and presentation. But I gotta say, SummerSlam 91 has a very big moment with Brett Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It also has a very big moment for the Legion of Doom. I mean, I don't really care about it, but it is a big deal. And it has the Virgil thing.
Right.
But none of that really wound up mattering ultimately. Only the Brett Perfect thing did.
I agree.
Whereas at WrestleMania 6, you know, you got Warrior winning, which some people don't like. But you've got Demolition winning. You've got an overall performance that it's so close for me, truthfully. But yeah, I think WrestleMania 6 is maybe the better show overall.
Yeah.
From an entertainment. It's hard for me to say that with a straight face, though.
So, no, here's the thing. Is we're talking about pay-per-views, WWF pay-per-views.
Yes.
So the whole pay-per-view has to really, at the end of the day, make a better impression than the whole other pay-per-view, right? My problem with SummerSlam 1991 is things like Andre the Giant with the sticks. Like, I don't care about any of that. My problem is IRS, just why is he just there? Just, I know it's a cool down, but I mean, like, anytime he shows up on pay-per-view, it's just like, I don't fucking care anymore. And then that cascades into, like, the end, just feeling like, is this over yet?
You know what it is, Quinn? I think I would be able to give SummerSlam the nod if it were not for the main event.
Well, also, the pacing's broken because you gave us the best shit in the middle. And then, like, literally, I just want to get the fuck out of it. I see IRS. I'm like, are we going yet? Okay.
Whereas with WrestleMania 6, they gave you a lot of good stuff, but the main event was still what everyone was waiting for.
It's drip, drip, drip on WrestleMania 6. You want to keep going.
Yeah.
It's 15 matches. Don't feel like 15 matches.
No, it
just
doesn't.
keeps going and going and going.
Yeah.
Everything's nice and short and, like, compact.
It's also the real final showcase of the golden era.
Yeah.
SummerSlam 91 is a good era, too, because everything after WrestleMania 7 and onward, they get better again in 91, but I think I'm with you. I think WrestleMania 6, but I don't want to pretend that it's a blowout here. SummerSlam,
It's not a blowout.
You know what I mean?
It's like I said, it's definitely a top 10 show. It's just, you can't compare to WrestleMania 6. WrestleMania 6 is like, it's so well executed that the wrestling doesn't matter, which is really hard to do.
I mean, 3 is another one of those shows, except 3 does have that 5-star classic. But yeah, I agree with you, Quinn. The wrestling matches, if you're just looking for star ratings, then you're going to disagree with us on this pick here. You know, I understand that. But in terms of an overall presentation, memorability, it's close. But I'm with you. WrestleMania 6. Want to make it official?
Sure.
All right, so for week number 1 here for the Royal Rankings of pay-per-views, WWF pay-per-views, number 1, WrestleMania 6, and number 2, SummerSlam 91. It's a close one, but I agree with you, Quinn. That's the right choice. Folks, let us know what you think. Do that on Twitter at OVP Podcast. Shoot us an email or join the group and let us know why. Let us know why you think that. But Quinn, when we come back, we've got a new review here for the new season. It is a fan request for us to do WWF Monday Night Raw. Ever heard of it?
Yeah.
We're going to be doing that right after this.
WrestleMania, the greatest sports entertainment extravaganza of all time. Live Sunday afternoon, April 1 on pay-per-view. The Ultimate Challenge will pit the skills of World Wrestling Federation champion Hulk Hogan against those of the Intercontinental champion, the Ultimate Warrior. Champion versus champion, title for title. Don't miss the stars, the spangle, the jingle, and the jangle of WrestleMania. Live Sunday, April 1 at 4 p.m. Eastern. Call your local cable system now and order WrestleMania. SummerSlam! Monday night, August 26th! It's the pay-per-view spectacular of the summer! SummerSlam!
Hello, wrestling fans. It's time to shout out our friends of the show now. These are other independent podcasters that do their best each and every week to put out a unique program focusing on old wrestling, kind of like OVP. Let's start with the best of Southern Fried Wrestling. We're talking filthy. We're talking unprofessional wrestling podcast. We're talking about Booking the Territory, where you will get your fix of the NWA each week. And then, for a whimsical journey led by one man, Pete Winson, check out Greetings from Allentown. It might be WWF, it might be WCW, it could be Mid-South. So check out our friends of the show. We're talking about Booking the Territory and Greetings from Allentown. And welcome back, wrestling fans, to our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast. Thanks for being with us here. Starting off a new season, episode 241. How you doing there, Michael?
Hi.
Ready to roll here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we're reviewing something, folks, and I just want to remind you guys, over on our Facebook group, there is a pinned post or a featured post announcement, whatever they're called these days, where you can give us specific episode review requests. We will take your requests, we will go through them, and we will try to review everything over time, obviously. We're just going to keep shipping away. The only real rule, if you want it reviewed on the main show here, is it has to be 1 hour or less.
Yes.
We only do shows that are that length on this main show.
Only on the main feed, yes.
Now, occasionally we'll have a live review. That's where we'll do some longer stuff, like Saturday Night's Main Event last week. That was a request, but that's only every 10 episodes.
Exactly.
So
you lose you've only 1 out of 10 chance.
Correct. So if you want us to review something, you have a higher chance of doing it. If it's 1 hour or less, just post it there. Post a YouTube link or whatever it's on, the name of the show, the date, and we will do our best to get to it. Quinn, this one was requested by a great fan of the show, Graham Hannaford.
Graham.
He wanted us to do WWF Monday Night Raw, July 11th, 94. The significance of that is the world title match on it, which we'll get to. This is a pretty well-known episode. Quinn, what is Monday Night Raw? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
We all know what Raw is.
It's the hottest thing since Bonanza or whatever they say. Like, you know it's true. They say this.
Right? We have watched a lot of Raw. I've watched a lot of Raw. You've watched a lot of Raw. It's still on.
It's still on to this day.
That's all you need to know. It's on Mondays.
I think it's finally starting to not be their top show, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
The other one's on Fox, so I don't know how it could not be the bigger show.
Network television.
I think it's about time, no offense, for Raw to start to become the B show.
I agree. They've been leaving. I mean, it's 28 years.
I mean, as we've seen throughout wrestling history, most shows they sunset, right? It's like they're the A show for a while, and then they aren't.
Superstars, for example. But Raw here in July of 94, this is around the time where they have more or less officially said, all right, this is our main show. And the reason I say that is only because Superstars was still the main thing for much of 93 until they started to transition that, you know. But now Raw's pretty much the main show. And July of 94 is a interesting period, and we will get to why. But thank you, Graham, for the suggestion. Without any further ado, Quinn, it is WWF Monday Night Raw, July 11th, 1994.
At least it's not 1993.
That's your mantra lately,
Thank goodness.
With the Rumble, with this.
So great. Really great stuff.
I agree with you. 94 is a refreshing change, believe it or not. And we open with Jim Ross narrating a video package for the 1-2-3 Kid.
All happily.
Yeah, he's so good.
1-2-3.
The 1-2-3 Kid. This incredible superstar had a storybook start to his World Wrestling Federation career.
He defeated Razor. He defeated Ted DiBiase. He won the tag titles for a week with Marty Jannetty. And 3 weeks ago, Quinn, he earned his shot at the world title by defeating Nickel and Dime Volkov.
Wait, Uncle Pennybax is in the running for the world title?
Is that how that worked?
I don't even... What? He's not a contender.
He shouldn't be. He had just come back, folks, with hair.
He's 100 years old, too.
And he looks like it. And it's like Ted DiBiase bought him just to make fun of him. That's the gimmick.
That's all he did. But now they're acting like he's a contender?
Man, if it's between him and the Kid, this is sorry shape
He's
we're in.
got scent symbols on his boots. Come on.
He really does. But tonight, the 1-2-3 Kid takes on the WWF champion, Bret the Hitman Hart.
As we see somewhat decent quality pictures of them.
They're
Did you
okay.
notice that?
Yeah,
They
not
were
bad.
high-ish quality.
And now we find out at the 1994 Hall of Fame last month in June, Bret Hart said, I could see the torch being passed to Jeff Jarrett.
What?
And the 1-2-3 Kid.
Some of the younger guys, and maybe not such younger guys, but I see Jeff Jarrett. I see the 1-2-3 Kid. I think is one of the greatest wrestlers pound for pound that's ever come across.
Bret's tie is very poor here.
It's not good. But anyway,
he looks dumpy. I'm sorry. Like, they should have... Somebody... Julie or his wife maybe, or whoever's in charge of the makeup or dressing of these people.
They should have fixed him up a little more.
Yeah, he looks sloppy.
Maybe he was doing something and forgot about this until the last minute. Wasn't he always late for everything?
I just feel like you got like a public-facing company. They have people that are in charge of making them look good, right? It's like
they do, but to be fair, this wasn't supposed to air on television.
I understand that. He looks sloppy.
He looks a little sloppy. Anyway, he did call the Kid one of the greatest wrestlers, and man, Sean Waltman was in the WWF in 94. He was a great wrestler back then.
He was among like top 5-ish people.
He's awesome. Anyway, we cut to the classic Raw opening.
Yeah, SNES edition or whatever.
Don't call it SNES. Anyway,
that's what I think of it as, though, the 94 SNES game.
I just say don't call it SNES.
Oh, sorry.
SNES will always forever be. I don't care. Anyway, we're here in Bushkill, Pennsylvania again at the Fernwood. Oh, goody.
Yep, the place where I can see the wall the whole time.
Why do we have to be here again?
This place sucks. It sucks, Joe. It's so bad. There's things I noticed throughout this that are even more hideous than I originally... This place could be a bowling alley. Like, I'm serious.
It's not good. It's in the Poconos. Anyway, Jim Ross, welcomes us along with Randy Savage.
Because why would he wrestle? Like, that would be good.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Jim Ross, along with the legendary Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah. JR, by the way, is here, not Vince, because, steroids and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. That's why it's JR. This is actually, I think, is
Jerry Jarrett running the place right now?
Stop it. Stop it, Michael Quinn. I think this is actually JR's first thing back since being fired in February.
Okay.
And it's just because Vince is
time. Yeah.
It's very sad. Anyway, the announcers hype up the WWF title match, and Savage says the pressure is on the Kid because he's got everything to gain, nothing to lose. And I really like the way they're hyping this, Quinn.
Yes, it is very good. I like Savage's speech.
Yep.
Also, he even takes his glasses off momentarily to make it more serious.
Yes, which he never does.
Even though he's wearing neon or what.
Well, it is the 90s.
Could they figure out a way for him to wear a black tuxedo, like he was a little more?
No.
Maybe wear a Macho Man hat, but it's darker color. I don't know.
Do you know him at all? Do you think he wanted to do that?
I just mean it's weird having this guy dressed like a clown outside. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's much worse than the guy with the crown on his head.
He's a dick, though. Randy Savage is supposed to be a face. I don't know.
I know. Babe Ruth. Anyway, the 1-2-3 Kid's fantastic music hits, and he enters to a nice reaction.
Upgraded hair, by the way.
Upgraded hair, Quinn.
Yeah,
that's true. Not the mullet.
It helped. It's more the karate hair.
It's the karate area, yes. Yeah. Howard Finkel will be the ring announcer, of course.
And the Kid is all serious, all business, if you will. I like how he's selling this. This is the only shot he's going to get.
This is my one chance, Mr. Hitman, or whatever the hell he would say. Earl Counterfeit is going to be a referee here. What? Shirts. Proud Ica Pro.
We're still with the shirts, huh?
We will never be without the shirts.
20 years ago.
I don't give a fuck. Proud Ica Pro banner. Bruce Banner is on display here. Kid has the better hair, like we said. And also, Quinn, He's not doing like the light blue L Kid tights anymore.
Lightning
that era.
Kid, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing the black and white attire, which means a lot less lightning, a lot more karate. Next up, Bret Hart's newer theme rips through the Bushkill basement, and the WWF champion enters to a great reaction as well.
Because we're going to go on a magic carpet ride, yeah. And listen to this ovation right here. The Hitman's getting ready to come down that aisle. Let's just stop 1 second and enjoy the moment, yeah.
I like this song, Quinn. I know you do too.
I really do.
I just like the other one better. That's all.
I like this one better.
No, some people do.
To me, it always makes Bret seem more of a bigger deal.
I understand.
Like, because here's the thing that I think especially makes the first music take him down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's when he was in the tag team. That music I associate with the tag team.
Yeah, but it's
and
also
I'm
when
just like, oh, he's just a tag wrestler who's wrestling singles matches. When I hear that music, that's what I think.
Well, I understand because Marty Jannetty kept the Rockers music,
It's
so
the same
I understand
thing.
your point of view.
It's like it's just like once they upgrade it, I'm like, oh, he's a singles wrestler now.
The only reason I like the original theme more, besides the sound of it, is because when he wins at WrestleMania 10, he has that old theme still, and I really like it.
Wow.
So it's just sentimental.
I just really like the guitar
I do
riff
too.
at the beginning.
I do too.
A
But anyway,
lot.
yeah, no, I agree. This is a good era for Bret, even though it's a dumpy one for the business. Like, Bret is very good in 94.
Right. They have this very talented top tier athlete, and they can't even like. It's not that they don't have stuff for him to do. It's that like nobody cares.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I mean, Nikolai Volkov is here.
Yeah.
And what are we doing?
Yeah.
But anyway, Bret yells, "Fuck yeah, that's right," as he opens his jacket. I read his lips on that one. It's pretty cool. And as the lights come up, we see Owen and the Anvil, who have decided to wander out.
This is funny to me because they're immediately like fucking Koopa kids, and they just are all annoying outside.
Like big gestures at Bret.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's very funny. They hop up on the apron. They're yelling shit just to be dicks. Randy Savage hates it, Quinn.
He just wants to see the match. He's like, this better not ruin this shit,
Yeah.
basically. That's essentially what he's saying. He's like, I don't care about this feud.
He's like, oh no, I don't want them to ruin it. It's
Yeah.
funny. Timmy White and Jack Doan wander out to get them the hell out of there. Owen then makes chicken motions as they fade away down the aisle, and then you hear Owen all hammy. He's a scaredy cat.
Only Owen.
He's a scaredy cat! He's fighting the 1, 2, 3 kid!
This actually got a laugh out of me.
Yes.
Because immediately after, Savage like, I think he called him a scaredy cat.
All serious.
Yeah, and JR tries to like, that's a stupid line. And what is JR like says something about it? It's
I
like,
forget
who
what
would
it-
say something so dumb?
I don't know about that. I love radio. Anyway, back to the ring where Earl holds up the belt, shows it to the 1, 2, 3 kid, and gives it to Howard Finkel. We have a bell and the crowd is ready. This is a famous match, folks, so we're going to see if we can do it justice here. We get a handshake to start.
Because faces.
You have to. Circle, lock up.
As I can see the ceiling light hanging.
It's true.
This fucking place, Joe.
Volcanos.
Yeah.
The kid with an arm drag and Bret with that now iconic reaction to the arm drag where he's kind of like, huh, which CM Punk just paid tribute to recently, last month. Anyway, love it. Back up, Greco-Roman, both guys break. They try again. Bret with an arm wringer into a wrist lock. Kid reverses. Bret goes down to the mat. Bret rolls to his back, so the kid clamps on in the armbar. Bret to his knees, back up, body slam, kip up by the kid.
The Karate Kid.
Very karate. Face-off, circle, lock up, side headlock by the kid, rolls around into a hammerlock. Savage Quinn, very impressed by these moves. He's like, oh, I want to write them down.
So he says that, but I'm pretty sure he knows all of these moves. But there's like there are like hip tosses and like
arm bars.
It's like what?
Actually, I've never seen Savage do an arm bar.
I've seen him do a hip toss.
Yeah, oh, definitely a hip toss.
Yeah.
I never really see him do an arm bar, does he?
Does he ever? Maybe. I
don't
don't know.
know.
Like, why does he knows how to do that? Shit sucks. That's why he doesn't do it.
His go-to rest hold is a headlock. That I know.
Yeah.
But not an arm bar.
He's
Anyway,
usually jumping all on the ropes and shit.
he's very all over the place.
Movement. Yeah.
Movement. Bret reaches up for a snapmare, gets it, but Kid hangs on and rolls through into the hammerlock on the mat. Bret on his knees into a wrist lock now. Back up, shove off the ropes, back elbow by Bret to send the kid down. Snapmare by Bret into a chin lock. Kid's right back up, off the ropes, shoulder block by Bret. Off the ropes again as Bret dropped down by the kid. Leapfrog monkey flip by the kid. Bret back up, off the ropes, Kid with a kick. Bret catches it, and Kid with a spin kick from the other leg. Bret is up now, staggered near the ropes. Spin kick by the kid sends Bret to the floor.
Very nice.
Great stuff, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff. We go to break and we come back where the kid is controlling Bret with an armbar on the mat.
And JR apologizes for having a break. We missed nothing. They're in an arm lock. Like we literally missed nothing.
And JR's even like, well, sorry for going to break. During the break, Bret came back in, the kid led him, and then he put him in an armbar.
Yep.
Like,
and just sat there.
That's
Did
all it
nothing.
is.
Rest hold.
But I will say, though, JR is doing a great job calling this, which
He
is not
is.
surprising.
Even Macho Man's decent.
He is. I like Macho as a commentator. I think he's good. Brett's back up, though, arm drag, but Kid hangs on to the arm bra. Maybe crushes in here. Yeah. Anyway, Brett rolls over into his knees, but Kid just keeps the pressure on. Brett to his feet, shove off, drop down by Brett. Hard knee to the gut by the Hitman. Stomp to the groin by Brett now.
Meanwhile, some fans are shown, and I can see the light from the glass door partially. Like, I can partially see the outside of the building.
What, like it's a store?
It looked like it was snowing out there, and I'm not kidding.
In July?
Well, the fact that I can see the light peeking in from outside in an arena.
From the door,
From
no
the door
less.
on the ground level, that says something. This place is tiny, Joe.
That's very much vestibule. You know, there's a little.
This is very much like this. Like when I said bowling alley, it really could be.
You think there could be a cigarette vending machine just at a camera shot?
Right by that door. Like it's on the reverse part. You know, when you walk in
Yeah.
and you see the cigarette machine right. I guarantee there's a cigarette machine
And
there.
a phone booth.
Yeah.
With the yellow pages.
Right. And like the hangy kind where it's like bolted to the fucking thing.
The bolted kind.
Can't take it.
No, absolutely not. Body slam by Brett, nicely done, followed by a quick leg drop into the corner. European uppercut by Brett, and then another one. Brett with a clean break before laying in another uppercut. One more for fun. Kid goes down. Brett then rams the Kid's face into his knee. Kid bails to the ropes. Brett drags him away and lands a hard elbow to the back of the neck. Kicks to the ribs net. Quinn, everything here is so crisp.
It's very good. Yeah, it looks real, I'll admit.
Right? It really does. Everything looks real. Brett with a big swinging neck breaker and a cover for two, and then he cranks up a reverse chin lock now for a minute or so before sending Kid to the corner and lays in some boots. Randy Savage calls the 1-2-3 Kid the Gambler.
I don't even, what?
What
is he talking about? Is he referring to the Gambler?
The wrestler?
Yes.
I hope so. What if 1-2-3 Kid was the Gambler?
He might have been the Gambler.
We just don't. No one knows it.
Yeah.
More uppercuts by Brett. Corner whip. Kid goes down hard. Back first in the corner. Awesome bump. Irish whip by Brett. Back elbow was ducked. Kid with a crossbody for a quick two.
All sudden.
Out of nowhere. Brett's back up first, though, and a right hand sends a Kid back down. Corner whip by Brett. Charge Kid up and over. Tries to sunset, but Brett blocks it into a Rada for two.
But again, Bret Hart in control. Hard Irish whip. The Kid up and over. He is quicker, but he couldn't get him down. Bret Hart got him. 1, 2, and a near another.
Just barely kicked out right there.
I love this shit. This is a
It's
good
very,
match,
very good.
Quinn. It really is.
No, it's good.
Irish whip by Brett. Crucifix by Kid, but Brett blocks it, falls backwards. Earl with the count. 1, 2, foot on the ropes. But Earl counts to 3 anyway.
What?
Brett's music plays.
3, hey, wait a minute. His foot's on the rope. A 1-2-3 Kid. They're right in front of us here, ladies and gentlemen.
What a shame.
Fink announces Brett as the winner, but the Hitman tells Earl.
Now, wait a sec. Okay.
No, I didn't win.
I don't like this.
Well,
like, even Savage is like, what the fuck?
You know why? Because Brett doesn't want the Kid to be screwed. He would never want that to happen to anyone, including himself.
Yeah, but he also thinks, like, go to win anyway or whatever, right?
He saw...
I got to win the matches.
But he saw the Kid's leg was on the ropes.
I think he wants to get 2 wins out of this show. No, I'm just kidding.
Only you would twist it into something. Would Sean have done something like this? Don't be like,
no, Sean
won.
would have been like, fuck it, and left like any other wrestler.
Exactly.
Even Macho Man.
He'll win any way he can, and he'll drop a title any way he can, except in the ring.
Listen, even Macho Man was on the I wouldn't do that.
I know, 'cause that's Savage's character.
Yeah.
But Brett just feels like, I saw his foot was on the rope, and I didn't want to win like that. I want to win the right way. I don't know, Quinn. Anyway, Timmy White wanders away from the bar probably to explain to Earl that, the Kid did have his foot on the ropes. So Earl confers with the Fink, who gets on the mic to announce that by request of Bret Hart, this match will continue.
He can do that? Is he tunny?
I don't know.
Can he, though?
They're loose and fast with these rules. You know what I'm
they're
saying?
in the Fernwood. No one cares.
Matter. Anyway, we go to break immediately, and we come back to Savage and JR at the table.
All happy the match is continuing.
It'll be great, folks. We're going to see more of this. So we get a double feature to show how right after the match was restarted, the Kid tried to sneak a pin on Brett. Thankfully, Brett kicked out. A little shit. What the hell was that?
I don't know. Well, Brett shouldn't have continued the
You're
match.
right. No,
It's
I
his
agree.
fault.
You know what? I agree with you.
Yeah.
What the fuck is he doing?
I don't. That's stupid.
He could have gotten.
We always call it like we see it. If you win the match, you win the match. Like, you can't do this shit.
You're right about that.
Even if you're a face.
Would Hogan have done that? No fucking way.
He wouldn't give a shit. He would walk away and be like, "Yeah, brother, I'm the best."
Anyway, back to the ring, where Brett has a chin lock on the Kid as JR quotes Fleetwood Mac.
In 1994, it's a very relevant comment. What?
I don't know.
70s?
Anyway, Kid is in trouble, but is able to power himself up a bit as Brett really leans into the chinlock here. Kid's to one knee, both feet now, some elbows off the ropes. Brett tries a hip toss, but Kid reverses into a backside for two. Brett's back up first, so diving elbow to send Kid back down to the mat. Leg drop and covered by Brett gets two. Kid struggles up, but Brett plans his next move, which is a DDT. Cover. 1, 2. Kick out by the Kid. He struggles to his feet, but Brett is there to meet him with a body slam. Brett goes to the second rope, Brett's rope, on the inside, and the diving elbow doesn't connect. Kid gets the foot up. You know what's interesting here?
What?
Very rarely after Brett turns face does that diving elbow not connect.
Yeah, it always hits, but it doesn't do dick.
It doesn't win.
Yeah.
Well, against like the Mountie, it did once or something. It's real.
Don't bring that up.
Dino Bravo. But I like that Brett is playing a very, not subtle heel, but he is making the Kid the underdog.
Oh, yeah. No, that's very much what's going on here.
I love that, because normally Brett is playing the underdog
right
when he's wrestling as a face. So I really like that. Anyway, both guys are in trouble now, but Brett is up first. Hard kick to the ribs, Irish whip, duck under by the Kid, big spin kick, and both guys are down.
By the way, JR keeps calling Brett just Hart, and Hart does this or whatever. This annoys me for reasons that I can't explain. It's just it doesn't sound right.
You know why it annoys me, I think? Because most people just call him Brett.
Right.
When
they don't call him Hart.
Because there's other Harts.
Right. It's confusing.
And not only that, most people just call him Brett.
Yeah, literally Owen Hart was here 2 seconds ago.
Right.
And Jim Anvil Neidhart.
I actually don't... Yeah, Neidhart. I actually don't like when he's referred to as just Hart.
I don't like it.
Don't do it. Now people are going to do it to piss me off.
Be Hart.
Anyway, Kid goes to the corner to pull himself up. Brett approaches, so Kid nails him with some karate. Hi-ya. Irish whip by the Kid. Huge drop kick in the corner.
That looked good.
Really good. That flying drop kick in the corner.
That looked good.
Brett goes down. The Kid heads up